What is going on today on Saturday, April 6, 2024? As always, I should say, Terry Ironton Auditor is with me. Terry, how are you?
Hey everybody, I'm doing great. I hope everybody else is too. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday for sure. And I have McKnight with me today. He kind of become a kind of famous there for his laugh and giving his professional breakdown. What's going on
Hello.
today, Evan?
What's going on?
Oh, wow, man, we're ready to do this thing. So,
let, let me say from an outside standpoint, and I probably speak for everyone who's watched that video, that was one of the funniest damn videos that I have ever watched, watching you two laugh about him. Thank you for that. I enjoyed it so much.
well, we felt like we gave a very professional and thorough breakdown of the overall incident. So you know how that goes.
Well, I definitely felt professional about it watching it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's kind of what I really took from it overall is he's and I said this in one of my videos, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will agree with me. Um, whether you agree with the overall arrest or not, whether you think that he had that coming as far as what happened that day or not, you cannot deny the fact that you can't go around treating people poorly and think things are going to keep going okay with you. You
Right.
can't be a jerk to people despite their profession, to whatever's going on. You cannot do that to people and think everything's going to be okay. It's
Right.
not going to be okay. And eventually it's going to catch up with you. And finally, it just caught up with Chili. That's really my take on it.
He did not get what he deserved, but he absolutely deserves what he got, and that is a fact.
100%.
Should
And
we
go ahead.
should we speak to everybody out there? Say
I
hello to
abs
everybody
I
that's in the
was
chat.
that was getting ready to be my suggestion. So if you don't mind to, Terry, go ahead and see who we have with us today.
Alrighty, well, hello to Mike Barnes, Conspiracy, Sumi, Lisa, Nightman's wife, Frankie MMAZ, there's Becca from Welsh News Network, Kelly K, Nightman's wife, is that Gerard Sheckelman? I hope I'm not butchering your name. There's Shut the Shite, I guess, Shut the Shit, Sociology Applied. Hello, everybody.
I
And
hope
there's
everybody's
Patrick.
having.
Hello, Patrick.
And Dark Watch is with us. I just seen that pop up there.
Hey, Dark
Uh,
Watch.
we
Idiot
are.
laws.
You know what's one of the most comical things is all of the troll channels about Chili, and all the funny attached names that they kind of play off his, and it just amazes me. Chili's blow up doll was one of my favorite ones personally.
Chili's wooden leg. I
Yeah,
remember that one. There were a few out there. Delete balls.
delete balls,
Hmm.
absolutely. So, but nevertheless, when I started, I wanted to give a little bit of a background to kind of set up what we're doing here today. I'm doing something a little bit different today, guys. And I've invited Terry and McKnight in here with me today to kind of try this and see how it goes. When I started this channel originally a long time ago, this was going to be more of a firearms education type thing. That was kind of my passion. That's kind of what I do. I'm kind of a gun guy. I teach firearms and self-defense to, citizens type academies and stuff. And I enjoy it. So that was what this actually originally started as. It was never actually intended to be anything about this type stuff, but Chili kind of thrust it upon us and blessed us in Ironton with his presence. So it kind of happened without without direct, at least was not my direct intent. So after everything kind of started falling in line, and I met some people in the community, and I just kind of love the community and get to know some of the people involved, and it's been a lot of fun. So, and I've had a lot of people interested for whatever reason in my take or my beliefs or thoughts on like different auditors or frauditor type guys, and some other stuff, and have asked me about doing breakdowns or whatever. So that's kind of what led us here today. As you know, if you have ever paid attention to my channel from the get-go, I have tried to overall, at least generally,
Hey,
disconnect.
Chad,
Yeah.
just 1 second. I would like to be the first to welcome Ben on third to the chat here.
Oh,
Hey, been
awesome.
on.
All right. He's
Glad-
going to expose.
Glad to have you, bro.
He's going to expose us. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy, because we're going to be talking about you here in just a minute. So what we're doing is, when this all started, like I said, I've tried to disconnect myself a little bit from, my job directly. This YouTube thing's for fun. You know, this is just being silly. This is just my personal thing. It has no bearing whatsoever, no connection whatsoever to my job. It never has. It's kind of become one of those things where there's certain people that just cannot seem to understand that I'm not going to handle disciplinary actions or complaints or anything else about anybody's department or anything else on my YouTube. Believe it or not, that's not exactly a professional thing to do. So I've made it very clear that if anybody has any comments or concerns or anything, they can contact me in my official capacity at the department, and I will handle things at that time, not over YouTube comments. And if Chili exposes us, if Chili did enough, are you referring to expose us? Because he literally didn't expose anything. He made himself look like a fool, and then he ran when he got a warrant. So nevertheless.
What I'd like to clarify, what Chili did here was break the law. He was trespassing, plain and simple. He broke the law. There was no tyranny. There was no foul play. He was literally arrested for breaking the law, and that's what he did. And then he ran away from the, instead of just paying the fine like any normal person would, he ran away from that.
Exactly.
His rights weren't violated. Plain, I was there. That's how I know. I was there personally. His rights weren't violated. He was breaking the law. I just wanted to set the record straight, sir.
Absolutely. And you're spot on. So the reason that I've actually, I'd done a video just recently, and I was talking about the very thing that I just brought up, is the fact that I don't handle things professionally through my YouTube ever. Okay. So that's kind of what led us here, because we are trying to make sure that is understood. But because there are people that want my opinion on stuff and or saying that I won't do this, or I don't want to give my opinion about stuff or whatever. So I'm going to literally play a video today. And we're going to see, Ben on Third has, he's kind of a local cop watcher, or I don't really know what you'd call it, but he kind of has a little bit to do with Ironton. So we're going to play one of his videos. And since he's here, this will get him a little bit of opportunity to share his channel a little bit with people. And we'll just kind of break down what we think about this stuff. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the actual encounter that he's talking about. And then we'll just kind of go on from there. And hopefully we'll be able to draw our own conclusions at the end.
And let's ask one of the mods out there if they would grab his channel link and throw it into the chat so that everybody will have it.
Absolutely. Yeah. If one of the mods would do that, that would be great.
Like I always tell you guys, go check out channels. If you like it, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment. Let him know what you like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just to clarify, I guess I think Ben on Third kind of took the Chili role type thing. I don't know if he just liked what Chili was doing and kind of wanted to model himself. I don't really know. But he kind of decided to run with it a little bit. So, he's kind of taken that role of, I guess, what he thinks Terry should be doing. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but nevertheless, this will give the opportunity for y'all to be able to see a little bit of his content and see how he does things. And then we can go ahead and discuss it and break it down.
He said to play the one where Blankenship got something off the hood.
I think that was one of my videos. I think I'm not.
What's
mistaken.
What's the bullies leaving you alone? Because I don't know that you've ever been arrested by Ironton Police Department that I know of.
Never.
Not that I'm aware of. I think he wrote a ticket, maybe, but that was because he literally committed.
I know he got the ticket. That was where the contention came in. Apparently, the BMV sent a paper trying to charge him for not having insurance, which of course he didn't need on a bike. So
sure,
I can tell you exactly what happened.
Okay, well, let's do that after the video. Hang on just a second. Terry, can you pull that video up and we'll just go ahead and share with them that as now would be great.
Great day. And if you're not,
all right, there you go. You can pause and start whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay, this is an encounter, I guess, and he's setting it up a little bit, so we'll let him go ahead and set it up, and then we'll go ahead and.
I hope you turn it into one. But anyways, I wanted to address some stuff before, I played this video that I'm gonna play, that's coming up. But anyways, first, because I made this, I was recording the cops. I think it was yesterday, right? And I was recording them. I had like a big conversation, and my stupid phone cut out, and it said it took up too much storage, saying I had to delete some stuff, so I didn't get the full conversation. I only got like this 5-minute video, but this video was still a pretty good video. As first it starts out as them telling me to step back. Well, it starts out as Acres telling me to step back, and I wasn't even close at all. Like that was crazy. But then at the end, you see him come over, like you tell me to come over there to try to talk to me, and I went over and had that conversation. I had a conversation with him, I was asking him all those questions, and Blankenship, thought he called me out or something. When like a couple years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, he saw me like a block away from my house, and got me because he said he smelled a little alcohol in my breath, and he said I was drunk or whatever, and he brought me home, and he's like, well, I gave you a pass there, why don't you tell everyone that? Like, no, the only reason he brought me home that night is because because they told you to bring me home. But I'm not gonna get into that, but that's not really you giving me a break. That they the dispatch told you to bring me home. But anyways, like, and this thing, and you put it out like I was real drunk. Like I only had probably like one shot, and I have alcohol in my breath, and you put it out like someone called in and said, no, what really happened is you seen me walking in and you profiled me, but you will never admit that, Blankenship. Like you won't, but like you won't never admit what happened with with this report that with the BMV. You always say, oh, that has nothing to do with me, that's on them. Then why won't I call them? Oh, that has nothing to do with us, that's on them. Like I keep getting the runabout, like with everything I do. I just had to address that situation because no one in the comments to be saying anything, I just had to say, because he makes it out like he done something good. So everyone just give Blankenship a round of applause.
Did you pause it? Hello?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Evan, can you tell us a little bit about what he's talking about?
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with the time he was walking home?
Mm-hmm. It was me and Blankenship.
Was that a call, or did you guys stumble on him?
Yeah, we got a call.
Okay, what was the call?
The call came in as a lookout for an intoxicated male walking down the middle of the roadway.
Okay.
And as well as I do, the chances of finding someone is slim to none, but we were blessed with stumbling upon him.
Okay, so let me ask you this: when you got there and you guys started talking to him, was it apparent that he had been drinking?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what would have immediately, in your experience, what could you have immediately done with him at that point?
Immediately I could have took him for disorderly conduct.
By voluntarily intoxicated in public, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you chose not to?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Did dispatch? Do you take orders from dispatch?
No.
Okay, and you were a supervisor?
Yep.
Okay, so I wasn't there, and there was no other captains there then.
Nope.
You have to ask why, sir. I mean, why choose one over the other? Why did you choose in that instant to take him home versus public intox?
Well, I could tell that he was younger, and I could tell, maybe that he wasn't such a bad guy. I didn't know anything about him, but at the same time, we had a lot going on that day, and there was 2 of us out only, and we were very busy. And I just found it in my heart to give him a break. And
And sometimes in my experience, Terry, to kind of back that up even a little more, is like I've preached this before and I'll say it again. Our job is not to incriminate people or to put them in jail. That's not what we're paid to do. If I can resolve a problem without putting somebody in jail, that's what I want to do.
Are you kidding me? I thought you were a cop. I thought you were paid to put people in jail. I thought that was your job. I mean, as a full-fledged pig, I thought that was your job. You were supposed to find reasons to put people in jail. I thought that's what being a cop was about.
Evidently, a lot of people think that, but that's not exactly the case. So, so at that time, you know, I'm assuming that Evan and the guy and whoever was working with him.
It was Leaducator.
Okay. So that time you said, hey, you know what? Let's not screw with it. You know, give this kid a break.
We had calls pending. It was just a crazy day. You know how it gets. But
sure.
It was on evening in the midst of evening shit. So, but all that aside, you know, when we did find him, he moved from the street to the sidewalk and he had a red Solo cup full of alcohol. So I did dump it out as I supposed to.
Okay, first of all, I have to say that Dickbag Patrol and Flat Derp are in my chat at the same time. I'm not trying to brag.
Hey, guys.
But that is the case. So how you guys doing? So anyway, so you give the kid a break because you think, you know, he's just a kid. He's had a few drinks. We've all done stupid stuff, especially in our youth. He's only a couple blocks from home, whatever. Let's give him a ride home, right? So you didn't arrest him?
Nope. I said, do you have somebody that come pick you up? He said, no. I said, to keep you from going to jail, I'm going to have Blankenship give you a ride home. And he started kind of being a little mouthy, but not to the extent that it was even worth messing with it.
Sure.
And, you know, you also got to take into consideration he's had a little bit of alcohol. So it's one of those it is what it is things. So I followed Blankenship to his house. We drop him off. He gets on the front porch and then he starts being very aggressive on the front porch, you know, saying bad, mean things or whatever. And I was just like, okay, have a good day. And I just took off. Okay. And that's the only encounter I've ever had with the guy.
All right, let's get back to the video then and let him go ahead and say his piece, okay?
Like he thinks he deserves or something because, you know, he's like, hey, you gonna tell people that? Or Blankenship, I'm giving you, you know, a round of applause, you know. Good job, you know. Good job, Blankenship. All right, I think that's enough. But I just find it real crazy. You know, I had all that talk and I asked them all those questions, and you know, it's just like they always come up with something, this and that. Oh, that ain't that. We didn't do this. We wasn't doing that, and that ain't on us, and that's not us. So you got to talk to them. And it's always that be around the thing, like they always got to give. And another thing. I don't know what was so funny, but two of the firefighters showed up and they was like laughing and like, you know, laughing at me, and well, I think they was laughing at me. It sure in the hell looked like it, but you know, what is two firefighters doing acting like that, acting like, you know, acting like that? I thought, you know, firefighters are people that are supposed to help people and everything else, not like act like stupid idiots like that, and you know, with their hair all slit back, thinking they're like pretty boys, you know, coming at like laughing. Like, what was so funny? We were sitting there having serious conversations about, you know, police corruption. I was like having serious conversations, asking them stuff that probably no one else ever did but Chili, you know, asking them questions like they should be been asked, and you know, but it's not like they're going to tell the truth anyways. But I'm just saying, they just like both showed up in that new truck, that new fire truck that they just got, you know, that they just drive around in. But anyways, you know, they just pulled up and came over there and just started laughing and all, like, you know, didn't say nothing to me. And they was, I don't know what they were saying to, you know, Blankenship or whatever, but you know, they was over laughing. And you know, like I said, I should have had all this on video, but my crap went out, my phone went out, and like I said, it said I had too much storage, so I had to delete some stuff. But it was in the Speedway parking lot. But you know, they just came over and was like laughing, and then all of a sudden walked out, like just like walked off, you know. Like, well, what's so funny here? Like, this ain't no joke, and you know, they think it's a joke too. They all laugh and you know, and they think they call me out. And another thing I want to address. about the night they caught me with the ticket. He said, we warned you 5 times that you get out the road. No, they never warned me once, because it's saying, if they warned me, don't you think I would get out the road and be on the sidewalk and like, because I wouldn't want to get a ticket, you know? No, they didn't even warn me 1 time. What, like, I literally was riding my bike that whole night and recorded them, and they seen that and they took advantage of it. Like I said, I will always say that, and that's the truth. And like I said, like, it's every time I ask for the body cam footage, or every time I want the paperwork, oh, it's never on them. When, you know, Blankenship was one of the sergeants that night. He was like the one in charge that night, but it's not on them. I just don't get that. If it's not on them, then why did I still get that paperwork in the mail? I don't get it. But that's just a couple lies I want to cover up that Blankenship was saying in that video.
Okay, real fast. I'm assuming something happened with insurance or something, I guess is what.
That was what I was saying. When he got the ticket for riding the bike in the street with no lights or whatever the deal was,
Sure.
Apparently there's somewhere on there that denotes whether or not insurance was had, and for whatever reason the BMV sent him a paper wanting him to pay a reinstatement fee because he was driving with no insurance. So that stemmed from that ticket, right?
Mm.
So I went and talked to the chief, and he I told Ben on what he told me to take the original letter from the BMV and the ticket to the BMV and explain what happened. If that didn't work, then to talk to him, ask him, and he would be willing to write a statement or whatever he had to do to get it cleared up. Should be fairly easy to clear up as far as that's concerned, and then no one's on his back anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think if it was a typo, that's certainly a possibility. I don't know. I mean, that's, humans are going to make mistakes, but I think that's about as justful as you can do if the chief's willing to do whatever he's got to do to make it right. Obviously, with willing to write a statement or something. So I think that's fair. So if we get to that point and we say that, okay, you got a ticket for it, and they may have, some kind of typographical thing happened or whatever, I don't know. I wasn't there and have no clue, but if that is the case and the chief's willing to write a statement to the BMV to get it fixed, I think that's fair in my opinion.
I see him asking, why can't I have the body cam footage? The reason is because you have to ask for that within the first 6 months. If it's not needed or requested for any reason, it is deleted and overwritten every 6 months, right? So that's how that works. The body cam footage has got to be requested within 6 months of the original incident that you're looking for. Otherwise, if it's not held for court reasons or the police department themselves have not asked them to hold it, they won't. It'll just be deleted.
Yeah, it's earmarked. If it's something that has to be held, like for a big trial or something like that, but something as simple as a traffic violation or something, usually there's no reason to earmark them. So I mean,
right.
But
so
I guess
so if you would want your own or you would want someone else's, know that in Ironton, if you're going to request body cam footage, it must be within that 6-month period. That's when you'll have the opportunity to get that. So
okay, all right, let's keep going here.
Video, they told me 5 times. He literally said they told me 5 times about being in the road when they didn't stop me once. Because if they did, I would have had it on video. They did not stop me once and tell me, hey, you can't be riding in the road, because I never really thought that was a law. Like I said, back in the day, like 5 years ago, before them boys got on there, before the bullies got on, the people, the bullies that we're talking about got on the police force, they never bothered anyone. And I told him that face to face, no one never got bothered by the police on bicycles. But now,
what reports are you referring to, Ben? I'm trying to make sense of this. I don't really know exactly what.
I assume he's talking about the original arrest report from that day.
What arrest report?
Or not the arrest report, but the ticket, whatever the citation was for the bike, the ticket that he got. Whatever report that would be. The chief said it wouldn't be at IPD now because it's been so long. It'll be upstairs in the municipal court, so that's where you would have to.
Does he not
paperwork?
Does he not have a copy of his ticket? How did he go to court? I didn't know what court date and stuff. That's what that's what a citation is. It's a summons to understand where your court date is and when. So obviously he's had the copy of that ticket, and there is no criminal report because no criminal charges were filed.
Right.
The only thing you have is a ticket. That is the closest thing you're going to have to a criminal report is that citation. That's all there is. So, and I'm under the impression that was a conviction, that the court found him guilty of that. So I'm not sure what's debatable about that either. So, but let's continue on with this video here.
Well, let me ask you a question first.
Sure.
I know that part of the argument is I didn't know what the law was, and I'm not trying to pick on you, but it
Sure.
is your responsibility to know the law, because like when you're breaking the law, a state patrol is not going to pull you over and say, hey, oh, you didn't know that law? Well, we won't cite you today. You know what I mean? That's not how it works necessarily. It's not, there's no written reason for a cop necessarily to give a warning before issuing a ticket or citation. Is that correct?
Right. Their ignorance of the law is an excuse, they claim.
Okay, I was just trying to clarify that because I know that sometimes perspective changes things.
Sure.
And if I could butt in for a second, I know that I don't know if he still has the video or not, but there was a video before he got cited of him recording a traffic stop where Akers told him that he needs to get a light on his bike or he's going to end up getting cited. And then as time went on, he kept doing the same thing, and that's when he got cited.
Okay, so he was warned then, because he said he would.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Ben on Third still has it on there, but
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and keep the video going here.
Now, they think there's a lot of people driving around with drugs in their pockets, so they know, that's an easy arrest. Like it all goes back to profiling, but they think just because they're getting dope off the street, that's not profiling, which it is. But you know how it is. They know, like, maybe 10, like say if they stop 10 people on bikes, they know maybe 5 of them's gonna have something in their pocket. 5 of them is going to be an arrest, so they know it's an easy, target. But like I said, that never used to be. Like back in the day, dude, we could ride bikes, ride in the middle of the road, pop wheelies, like not a care in the world. The cops would literally stop and be like, "Hey, have a great night," like all positive vibes. Now they gotta stop and like arrest you or like tell, like, why can't you just stop someone and be like, "Hey, you guys having a great night? You need anything?" Or why does it always got to be, "Hey, you got your ID? You can't be riding the road." But you like already know why you guys got me that night, because it was recorded, and it was so funny, Blankenship. And I wish I had that on video. What the question, that one question I asked you. You remember everything, but the only thing you don't remember is when I asked you that night you gave me that ticket, the night that your brother put something on the hood and you got something off the hood and it looked very suspicious, that video. You was like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't remember that." Why don't you remember that? You remember everything else, Blankenship. Like you remember giving me a ride home 3 years ago because they told you to, and you acted like I was so wasted, like. But anyways, but you can't remember what you got off the hood. How does that make sense? Like, and then you all say you want to experience what we go through on a daily basis. Why don't you go on a ride along with us? Well, I'll be up for that, but I don't know, because I want to be up and close to everything, and like going on a ride along, you have to stay in the car, and you have to sit there, and that will give you guys an opportunity to do what you want. See, I want to be up and close, but I just don't understand. If you guys know I'm not doing nothing wrong, I really don't understand what's so wrong with me just standing close recording. Like you guys say at this video that we're about to watch, that you're scared for your safety and you for safety.
I want to address a couple things in the chat real fast. Everybody's asking what the complaint is. I'm kind of trying to figure out what the complaint is too. That's kind of why I'm wanting to show the video, is to see what everybody else thinks about a complaint, because right now I'm not really seeing if there's a typo, and the chief offered to correct it the best way he could. And my understanding is he's literally saying that the guys are saying come do a ride along with him, and they took him home one time and he'd been drinking. I don't really understand why he doesn't like the police unless he's just doing it because Chili told him to.
May I say something?
Yeah, please.
I did some ride-alongs. I rode along with 5 different officers, including both of you. Um, it does give you a different perspective of police work, 100%. If you ever get the opportunity and you've ever wanted to or you're curious, I suggest that you do it. Now, the second thing that I wanted to address is he's talking about wanting to be up close, and all that, and not wanting to stay in the car. But, I mean, what is it you think you're going to catch, honestly? I mean, do you think there's just so much corruption going on? These guys got drugs in their pocket, they're planting in all the cars. I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that you think you're going to catch, because I've been out there for 2 years. 2 years I've been following these guys around. I used to try to surprise them, but that didn't matter. Um, some of the pullovers, some people will question, and I have too. And they may call it profiling, but you have to understand those small infractions in the law that they never get ticketed for lead to those drugs coming off the street. I know everyone doesn't like it, but when you have an officer that pulls 200 grams of meth off the street, you got to pat him on the back. I'm sorry, but that's just how it works.
Right. And that's just it too, is I want to clarify to Ben on Third and anybody else. By all means, feel free to video, to do whatever you feel like you need to in order to be able to justify what you think the police department's doing or whatever. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't know anybody else that does. What we do have a problem with is when it appears that people don't really understand what we do and kind of jump to conclusions without trying to figure it out. So it's hard for me to explain to you or anybody else what or why there may be a certain action taken by an officer if you've never been in that situation to understand. And in this video, you'll understand here in a minute, which is what we're going to talk about too, is certain things. There are certain things that we do that the public may not like, and I get it. But you have to keep in mind, our job is to maintain and preserve public peace. Now, in traffic stops, that means the security of that officer, as well as the person being stopped, are both in the hands of the officer during that encounter. That means I'm responsible for myself and the person in the car or persons in that car. Meaning that the same way that Chili ran out to Las Vegas out there and wants running up on this officer and he distracts the officer and puts the officer in a bad spot, whatever, whether you agree with it or not, that is still an investigation by a police officer at that time. It's his job to maintain security of that scene. So if he feels that you need to step back a little bit, or if he's speaking with somebody and maybe speaking in private, what if, because you don't know what's going on, what if you're actually walking upon somebody who's literally trying to talk to an officer in private because there's maybe a felony going on in the car, and you're walking upon them and to stick a camera in their face, and this woman's literally talking about how she's been sexually assaulted or something, because you don't know. So the officer is trying to keep you back to keep you from hearing something that, quite frankly, is none of your business. What if she's literally talking about something that you don't know of? So it's not always real wise to just go up and stick a camera in somebody's face that doesn't have anything to do with it. This lady's literally just, whatever. This guy's been doing this or whatever. You have to use your head. Remember, reasonableness is the key topic in everything. Act reasonable. If you act reasonable, then you'll receive reasonable response. But if you act unreasonable, you're going to receive response that are going to be that way.
Well, let me break in and say that what I found is it's not the camera. It's never the camera. It's the asshole behind it. It's the person behind the camera that guides the interaction with each time you meet law enforcement. So if you're there to be aggressive and holler and scream about things from 10 years ago, yeah, it's going to be nothing but a damn problem. Just saying. If you're there for that incident, record that incident. If you're there about everything else, I know that he had said he had asked questions that probably nobody since Chile has. I'd like to say that most of my questioning, and I'm pretty sure that the captain and the sergeant can both attest, that was done behind closed doors and off camera. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When I thought someone misbehaved, or I thought they went outside the lines, or I had questions about certain things and corruption and things going on, I didn't try to make videos to embarrass them. What I did was went and questioned them so that they could find out themselves, right? Because it's not about me, it's not about money, and it sure as hell ain't about you two, right? It was about the police department. So as I went through this experience, and getting to know how things work, the chain of command and all that stuff, I find that a lot of what I heard just unfortunately isn't true. It's a matter of perspective, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, let's see this. Let's see. He says that he only does it to 3 cops because he knows what they do. Let's just fast forward to the point where he's talking to these cops and see how they behave and see how awful these tyrants are.
The reasons he keep me back. But this thing, if something did happen to me, that's my fault. Like if someone and demanding my ID like he's a king, like he's some king, I confronted him about that, and he's like, "You have to show me your ID." I don't know if I got it on video because, like I said, I only got like 5 minutes of it, and I really freaking it really sucks. It's my right to record. How? And I think he's a king, like he's some king. I confronted him about that, and he's like, "You have to show me your ID." I don't know if I got it on video because, like I said, I only got like 5 minutes of it, and I really freaking it really sucks. I only got that like that happened. That's why next time I got to bring another camera or something. But anyways, he was like, "You have to show me your ID." Like, no, I don't have to show you my ID. Like, if I want to, I can just show you my name. Like.
If I'm not mistaken, if you are suspected of a crime,
Yes.
you must provide name, address, and date of birth. Is that correct?
Failure to identify in the state of Ohio. If you're suspected of a crime or suspicion of one, or we're doing an investigation, you have to. So yes, that's just the case. Sorry.
Right, but if
It don't matter.
Oh, sorry. If
Go ahead,
it
no.
were to turn out that I didn't have my driver's license or ID on me, name, date of birth, and address would suffice, would it not? That is
Yes.
my ID,
Name-
so to speak.
Name, date of birth, or your social security number. Usually depends on if we have any luck with it finding you. But yep, that's usually what we do.
Okay.
And even at that, you have to have that license on you, or you can actually be charged for that as well.
Well, I mean, if I was just walking down the sidewalk.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, if I was just walking down the sidewalk, and
Right.
you asked me for ID and I didn't have it, is what I was saying. As
Right,
long
yes.
as I ID myself, we're all right.
Yep. All right, let's keep going here.
But anyways, I just wanted to talk about this here, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope everyone's having a great night. Tell me all what you all would think about, and would you all go on a ride alone or not? And I thank everyone for watching. Here's the video.
Okay, I got to address this because now you got my attention. I have never deleted a comment that's not vulgar or somehow offensive. I do not do that, never have. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I can tell you this. My YouTube thing on my YouTube studios literally holds offensive or potentially offensive comments. Possibly that's maybe what's happening, but it's certainly not because I've deleted anything. I don't do that, unlike other channels that I know do.
YouTube will automatically delete certain things with certain words or phrases in it. You won't even see it in the held for comments. They sometimes will delete stuff depending on how it's worded.
Gotcha. All right.
I can stay right here. I know, I'm just recording, man. It's my right to record. How am I coming up on you, dude, when I'm like right here?
Okay, well, it appears that the passenger of the car was out with the officers, so I'm assuming they were conducting something that they probably didn't need somebody up there listening in on, whether it be some kind of complaint or some type of investigation. It's just better for the person involved. If you really are out for the righteous reasons, then why would you want to do something to interfere with somebody else's rights anyway, including the drivers or passengers of that car? Remember, reasonableness. Are you really out to get the police, or are you really out to just be a jerk? Because if that's the case, why can't you film them from where you are and not go up there and listen to what this lady's saying? That's the way that I look at it.
Even if you could hear, that's kind of irrelevant. I guess my question would be, Once they've given an order to stay back, and you've done that, as he's done, he hasn't gotten any closer. But to continually holler and argue about why you can't get any closer is kind of dumb, because now that leads into interfering. That's where the auditors don't seem to understand that there is a point where when they're hollering and screaming about their so-called rights being violated, where they're still fucking filming, that means their rights haven't been violated. When they start hollering and screaming at the cops about this, that, and the other, that's where they get that obstruction charge, and generally are resisting right after because they just can't believe they did anything wrong.
All right, let's keep going here.
Bro, I'm standing right here. How am I coming up on you? This is like more than like 10 feet. I said I'm like more than 10 feet from you. Try to tell me this back. You know, I'm just standing here recording.
Yes, you're standing there and they're not bothering you. I don't see any of them running to get handcuffs or anything, or telling you just keep screaming back at them. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. They ask you to stay back, you stayed back, and you're the one that continues to engage. I don't see what they've done wrong, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Like, what's the big deal? Oh, he's standing here. Look, guys, like, right here on the side, literally right here. They tell me to step back. I really don't know what happened because, you know, big arms around, they always do. Like, you know how
Yes, to clarify, I understand you were explaining about Akers telling you to step back, but what's the purpose of that right there on that scene? I mean, if you're trying to file some type of complaint over it, I don't think that's the proper way to do it. Remember, reasonable of action. That's what you're looking for.
for what? Dude, I don't want to know because I don't want to get arrested.
We're both trying to pause it. What's happening there? I'm sorry.
Okay, so they just invited you to come up and talk after the traffic stop's over, correct?
That's
They
what I
literally-
wanted to point out was like they won't let me get close, and now they ask me to come in. No, I don't want to do that. Well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Because they were literally trying to show transparency after they concluded their investigation, and they released the person to not interfere with her rights or have her story being overheard. And then they said, if you want to come up here, we'll explain what's going on.
Just like they do with Ironton Auditor. I just want to point that out. I'm not special.
That's the way I would hope that they would do with everybody. It's the way that I would firmly believe that my guys would behave. And that's just my opinion, but let's just see.
I know how you are. You guys will try to get me, man. Come and talk to you about what, though? I said, come and talk to you about what? You told me to stay back, man. Huh? Yeah, but like, if you had not like what's the reason why you don't want me like up on you?
All right, so I want to clarify. This is one of the young captains that we have there, and he's getting ready to break down and try to be very reasonable in his explanation of what and why he does things and why his subordinates do things. So let's just hear what he has to say.
That's true, but like I'm not like.
No. Listen, dude. I ain't doing nothing, dude. But what we do is one of the most dangerous things we do is a traffic stop.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we don't know what's in that car. We don't know what's going through that guy's mind. We don't know what's
Yeah, and I'm not live. I'm just recording. So.
right. That's fine. But they could be having a bad day and take it out on us.
Yeah.
So why we ask for people not to approach us like that, take our mind off of that and ask for our attention to what's approaching us, when they're back. That's why we ask them. We don't care if we're
Yeah, but I like to like record when you all search cars and stuff, but like
that's fine.
I like to like get right in, but I know I'm not.
He literally said, "That's fine." Openly said, "That's fine." Let's keep that in mind.
Might I give a little camera operator suggestions here? I don't know what kind of phone or camera that you use, but my iPhone, if I touch and spread the screen, it will zoom. And that's how a lot on my channel you see me. It looks like I'm looking right over their shoulder. I'm not. I'm giving them that reasonable distance, but my camera will zoom. Now, one of the things about my camera, it also, as I noticed as I started to video and put them up, it zooms in the audio as well. So that's why you'll see me turn the camera and try to talk over the personal information at times, to keep that, because it's not about that, But anyway, just a small tip there for camera operator. You can stand that far back and zoom right on in that car with them. I know because I've done it.
Absolutely. Let's see how this continues to go.
I'm supposed to really do that, but
No, we just don't want to. We just think of your safety too. That's another thing. I mean, it's not just ours.
Just like the night that you were walking, that shit took you home. That way.
no, he didn't take me home.
Yeah,
McKnight.
I literally recall him just saying earlier in the chat McKnight wasn't there, but then he just said just now that McKnight was there, but it was actually Blankenship that took him home at McKnight's order, is what I recall. Just to clarify. So when the guys had the perfect opportunity, if they wanted to be tyrants, they sure could have been tyrants there when they could have arrested you for drunk and disorderly in public, when you had a red Solo cup full of alcohol, and they chose not to. I don't think you... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around his anger with Ironton Police Department in general, only because it seems that according to him he's been stopped. But the thing about it is apparently he's never ticketed, never cited, doesn't have a big long criminal history. So obviously they're not beating him, tasing him, caging him, handcuffing him a lot. I guess I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that Ben is so upset about. I know he's upset about the insurance, right? And we found out how to fix that, so that's the easy part.
Sure.
But I'm trying to figure out, because like if it's just what people tell you, sir, don't always listen to that, man. I've been at this 2 years, and you got to understand, like Eugene always says, a pair of lips will say anything. It don't necessarily make it true. And if you don't think there's some liars in Ironton, you're wrong. And I know that you think the cops lie, and maybe they do. I couldn't tell you everything they say is true, but I can tell you that they don't lie any more than the average human, because that's all they are. They're just average humans. Just saying.
I absolutely agree. And I just want to clarify too. He's saying that he's mad because of pulling people over at Granny's. Well, I don't know anything about that, but if he's pulling people over at Granny's for probable cause, I guess I don't understand what's wrong with that.
I found one of those the other day, right up from Granny's. It was a turn signal violation is what he had pulled him for. Found narcotics, cited and released.
Okay, so he literally stopped him because he had a probable cause stop him.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is every time somebody gets pulled over for something, they're like, why'd you pull me over? Turn signal, you didn't have your turn signal on. And then they go home, they say, yeah, they pulled us over for no reason. It's because we was in Granny's, or it's because we was in this house, or whatever the deal is. There's always a big story, and everybody gets pulled over for no reason is what they think about it. Everybody says, I was just driving along, minding my own business, and got pulled over for no reason. and got a ticket.
Okay. Let's see. It says always a bullshit stop. I'm assuming he means bullshit. It looks like he says bulk shit, but I'm assuming that's what he means. Well, that's not up to us to write the state law. If you don't like those laws, you have to talk to the state legislature. I can't help you there. If they break the law and what statutory law, which turn signal violation is, that's their discretion to stop. There's nothing tyrannical about that whatsoever. Sorry. And that's just the way things go, whether you agree with it or not.
It's not profiling. A traffic infraction is a traffic infraction, and it doesn't matter who the driver was that committed it. It's the same infraction.
Okay, let's just continue here then.
Yeah, but you pulled up with me with a spotlight. No, that was not you, but McKnight pulled up with a spotlight, and then I walked up on him. He's like, "Why'd you walk up on me?" Because you spotlighted me, man.
We got called for getting drunk walking down on the sidewalk, which is illegal.
Yeah, that night, but
This was in the
You just said yeah, Blankenship, and then said yeah that night. So which one is it? Is he telling the truth according to what you're saying? Yeah, or is it truth what you put on the screen and said yeah right? Because I'm not quite following you there.
He keeps repeating himself and asking what Blankenship got off the hood. I guess my question is,
I don't know.
Why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us what he got? What do you think it was? I don't know. I don't even have a theory. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't either. I'm literally trying to hit, and this is honestly where I'm kind of doing this for. I'm really trying to give him his moment to be able to kind of air what he's talking about. And that way, if there is something, then one night McKnight put a spotlight on me. Okay.
Did it hurt? Did it hurt?
Well, I don't understand what's that mean.
Did it hurt? I'm just curious. Did the light hurt? I mean, because if they're driving around at night and you're out, yeah, you might get spotlighted. Why? Because they're cops. That's what they do. They're looking out.
He's saying go find the video, but I you act like it's completely ridiculous that he picked up something off the hood. Who knows?
That's what gets me. It could have been a marijuana pipe. It could have been this or that or the other.
It could have been nothing. It could have literally been a key ring. It could have been a piece of paper. I don't know. I mean, just because he picked something up, I mean, seriously.
It could have been the biggest meth bust in history, but we'll never know because he got it off the hood and it's gone now. So that's why I was asking what he had a theory, because I don't. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. So.
Just from what I'm gathering, been on third, I'll tell you, I think you're probably a pretty good kid. I don't say that. I don't say that as an insult because I'm an old man, so I'm allowed to call you kid. So bear with me there. But I think you're a pretty good kid, but I think you're fighting the wrong fight, man. I think you're looking for enemies that aren't enemies. That's just my opinion. I don't think these guys see you as an enemy, and I don't think that they are threatened by you, and I don't think that they're worried about you. And I think you're kind of worried about the wrong stuff, man. That's just my overall opinion. I think you're making this more of a Chili issue than it is. I mean, I don't know if Chili convinced you of something that's not true or whatever, but I think you're kind of looking at this all wrong, buddy. Just my opinion.
Chili convinced a lot of people of a lot of things that weren't true. That's what's taken me 2 years to figure out. You know what I mean? Because the lies went so deep. And unfortunately there are a lot of people lying about a lot of things. Not to mention a lot of it's been transferred to you guys that supposedly came from the sheriff's department. Like everybody thinks it's one law enforcement agency and there's actually two.
Sure. Okay. Let's keep this going real fast here and we'll wrap this up and kind of get some thoughts on it, and we'll talk about it and let the chat discuss it, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm talking about like I'm talking about but dude, but I'm talking about that one night. I don't know. It wasn't you guys. That one night, McKnight pulled up on me.
I've never done anything.
McKnight pulled up on me.
Okay, I have to stop him because literally it looks like he's saying that the top bad 3 cops, Blankenship, McKnight, and Akers. But yet earlier you said that these were the 3 cops that you normally watch, and you've thrown Jordan's name in there several times, and now you're not saying him. So I don't think you really have a lot of grounds to stand on, buddy. I think you're just kind of searching for something.
These mean guys took him home. I mean, they took him home instead of taking him to jail. And I guess I'm still trying to figure out why, because I thought it was their job to put people drunk in public in jail, but apparently they have discretion and they chose not to. And I guess I'm trying to figure out why he's so pissed off about it. Like, are you mad because they took you home? They could have taken you to jail. It could have been a whole hell of a lot worse, but they didn't do that, man. I guess I don't understand your bitch. I really don't get it, sir. I just don't understand.
Hey, Unclean Hands, how are you, sir?
Hello, sir. Good to see you.
Let's keep this going here.
And that's what I'm saying. He put the spotlight on me, and I'm like, why
Yeah,
you
but
put the spotlight on
I'm
me?
asking about one certain incident.
Pam told who to do what? You said he was a rookie and Pam told him to. I'm going to wait on that because I don't know what you're talking about. I'm curious. I want to know what Pam
If
told
he's
him.
talking about telling him to take him home, what fucking difference does it make? My point is, you got took home. You didn't get a ticket. It doesn't matter who wanted to do what.
Well,
you didn't get
I
beat.
can-
You didn't
I
get,
can
you know
clear-
what I mean?
I-
You got took home.
I can go ahead and zip that up 100%. Pam did not tell anybody to do anything like that because Pam doesn't have direct, even when she was a chief, and she's not anymore. But when she was a chief, she had no involvement with the road units while we were on the road. I don't know. And after they won't leave you alone, but it seems like you're kind of following them around. Like, I don't understand what they're doing to not leave you alone. I see them on a traffic stop and you showing up where they are. And I seen where they were on a traffic stop and you got a ticket while you showed up there. And then the only time they ever pulled up on you was when they got a call from the public saying that there was a drunk guy walking down the road, and instead of arresting you, they took you home. Where's the complaint? And who called her? Because McKnight was a sergeant on scene when the night he took you home, and
Yeah,
Sergeant
I called
McKnight
the shot right there.
Sergeant McKnight makes that call. He does not call me or anybody else above me ever if he's a supervisor on scene. He will make the decision, not anybody else. And then if I don't like his decision or the chief don't like, that's that. And we'll deal with it appropriately. But he will make those decisions in my absence and so on. It does not work the way that you're thinking. Nobody calls the chief of police over a drunk guy. Do you think honestly that we would literally call the chief of police over everybody drunk walking down the road? Seriously? Then what's the point of having us? Why not just let the chief handle everything? We handle that stuff without calling anybody, I promise. Let's see what we got here.
And I'm asking about the incident, about the night where you guys, you and your brother got me, and and all,
Right in the middle of the road on the.
like, I was right on the side of the road, and then your brother put in the police report a bunch of crap, like.
He put in there that you was
Dude,
right in the middle of the road.
he put the judge read, like, dude,
Because we had to tell you at least 5 times that night to get
the
on the
judge
sidewalk.
straight said that he put that I was on the sidewalk. I'm like, dude, I admitted that I was on the side of the road, but your brother put I was on the sidewalk. I swear to God on the police report.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
Wouldn't
did.
have got convicted of being in
Dude.
the middle of the road.
And not even that. Why can't?
Your video to
Why didn't Dan never gave?
your YouTube video to the
Now, Corey, you can't argue.
Why did Dan never give me the body cam footage of you guys
has nothing to do with me. You have
You
to
have to
take it up with
follow.
him. I don't know.
and the police report?
Request?
And the police report because. And ladies and gentlemen, that man is too busy.
Okay, somehow his phone died, I guess, at that point or whatever. Terry, if you want to close that screen out, you can, please.
All right.
I guess his phone died at that point, but let's go ahead and back up a little bit. So the judge even had problems reading the report. He didn't have a report. I don't know why you don't get there. There is no such thing as a report for a traffic violation. There's not a report for that. They literally write a ticket. That's it. Yes, unclean hands are right. He needs a little bit better equipment because there was definitely a lot of breaking up on that. But nevertheless, I think we've all wondering exactly what the problem is because, quite frankly, you've never been arrested by the Ironton Police Department. You've been given a citation for doing something, committing a traffic violation. They gave you a citation for it. There may or may not have been a typo on that, and if there was, the chief's offered to fix it.
Right.
But if that's the case, I don't really know what else you would expect. Then you complain that they won't stop bothering you, but you're the one that shows up where they are. Just clarifying that. And then you want to say that it's what else they've done and what else they've done and what else they've done, but yet you're kind of changing things up here, it feels like, man. Like I said, I really think I really honestly think you're looking at this wrong, man. I think you're looking for enemies that there's not. I really
Well, it
believe
sounds like
you're
he wants. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
It sounds like every interaction he has, he wants to scream and cry about the same thing, right? That's not that. What's going to happen when you do that is they're going to know what you're coming for, and they're going to demand that you stay back because you're coming in to be aggressive, argumentative, and create a problem. If you want to handle that kind of a problem, that's the kind of thing that's done at the office. Go to the police station, push the button on the wall, and talk to Cindy. Right? You'd be amazed at what you can get done rather than trying to demand stuff. It's a whole hell of a lot easier when you walk in and ask, especially from someone who really doesn't have a criminal record. And I guess I question that because I thought every other auditor other than me usually has a big long one, and that's generally why they hate most people. That's generally why they hate law enforcement so bad, is because they can't seem to stay out of trouble. So they think they're being harassed when it's just they can't stay out of trouble. But it doesn't seem like you have that problem, Ben. It doesn't seem like you have that problem. So I'm curious. I'm really curious why you're so upset. I know that the insurance thing happened, and I get that, and that's why I went to bat for you to find that out so that we could get that fixed, because that's obviously something that shouldn't have happened. But outside of that, I guess I'm really trying to figure out what it is you're complaining. You act like you're harassed and arrested so much, but I think we know that's not true now.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, if you don't have a record, then that means that our guys have never arrested you. So what exactly is it that's the problem? You say that they were bothering you before you picked up a camera, but yet I've never dealt with you ever. Evan, have you ever arrested him?
No, I could have, like I said, but I didn't.
Okay, so
because I'm not out to arrest everybody. That's not what I
know.
do.
Exactly. I guess I'm kind of puzzled here. I'm trying to understand, and I'm genuinely trying to give you your time here to say what needs to be said or whatever, because I feel like you're more interested in doing it over YouTube than you are following the channels at the police department. So that's kind of why I've done this stream tonight. But I really feel like you really don't have a gripe, man. You're talking about the Blankenship. Okay, so give me an instance when they arrested you, when the Blankenships arrested you. Because you're not telling me anything. You're saying that they came at you, but you can't even tell me what. Because Evan shined the spotlight on you for walking down the road or something? I don't know. I don't know.
Which I don't recall.
Or
it was
at
in
the
the middle
time,
of the day when I dealt with.
Or at the time, for whatever reason, it seems suspicious where he's at or what he's doing. I don't know. I'm trying to assume some things here. But for whatever reason, they came at him, as he says. Obviously you didn't get beat or tased or arrested falsely. There were no false reports filed, so I guess, your idea of coming at you, it just seems like you're pissed off because somebody wanted to know something and you didn't want to say it or whatever. And I get it, but this whole thing seems like it's a little, just a little bit immature. And I'm not trying to be insulting, sir. I'm not trying to do that, Ben. I'd like to take you under my wing, and show you how easy it is to ask for information and talk to these people. You'd be amazed when you let go of your fear and hatred of the badge and realize that you're dealing with a person behind it. Things start to change, sir. That's what happened to me. That's why I'm not like everybody else.
Absolutely. And I will say this 100%. Like I said, I don't think you're a bad kid. I think you've just kind of been given some misdirection, in my opinion. I think Chili's probably got into your head a little bit. And I think you're just considering it the wrong way. Shine the light, walked up and said, "Why you walk up on me?" What?
Well, if you're walking up on them in the dark, they're going to shine a light on you and ask you why the hell you're walking up on them. I can guarantee you that. I would, and I'm just a citizen. If you come at me in the dark, I'm going to be turning my light on, asking you who you are and what you're doing. I mean, that seems like a normal thing in the dark to me, to be honest.
Now, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to make sense of it and try to help you where I can here, buddy. But I really don't see your complaint. If Blankenship did pick something up off the hood, unless we know something more, I don't know where to tell you, because the chances are if it was something illegal, he routed it and done what he's supposed to with it, and we don't know. Or if it wasn't anything illegal, then he probably threw it away. I mean, I mean, there's times that we'll literally empty somebody's pockets and just kind of set them on the hood, and then it might be a piece of scrap paper or something, or what. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's just life. It doesn't mean that there's some huge conspiracy that happened, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's just not like that. McKnight shined his light on me and then walked up on me and was like, "What up?" And then he said, "Why do you walk up on me?" Okay, did you walk up on him, and was it dark, or do you always talk about E?
No. Like the only time I ever dealt with him was in the midday, probably 4 or 5 in the evening on a hot summer, or well, not hot.
Are you talking? He might be talking about.
Were you there when the ticket was written?
No.
Were you there when the ticket was written that night? Well, I assume that was dark. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
And it's possible that maybe he's talking about one time you guys are on a traffic stop and he came up or something when he was doing his videoing or whatever. I don't know, but nevertheless, I really don't think that. I mean, there's obviously nothing illegal about him shining a light on you and saying, "Why do you walk up on him?" It's called situational awareness, and any good self-defense oriented person is going to literally want to do that. That's just kind of common knowledge.
Right.
But as far as that goes, there's nothing, even if you were to tell me that it's a supervisor, I would say, okay, I'm proud of him for doing that because that's making sure he stays alive. So good for him. Good job if he did. As far as, like I said, picking something off the hood, I don't know what that means. I mean, there could have been anything. Like I said, buddy, I think you're literally just trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. And I think the chili's in your head. And I think you're just looking for something that's not there. I'm just being completely honest. That's just my opinion, but I think there's kind of something going on there that you're not wrapping it all up. That's just, once again, it was Blankenship Brothers and Jordan that wrote me a ticket. Okay. And you went to court over that ticket and got convicted. Is that right?
Or didn't go and paid the fine. I think you can do that too, can't you? Depending.
Right.
You don't
yeah.
necessarily have to show
Well,
up
I mean,
for
if
a traffic violation. If you don't show up, you're assumed guilty, and you.
Well,
pay
I mean,
the fine,
obviously, if you're disputing it and you're saying that it didn't happen, that's your time.
Right.
I
I was just saying, if you don't show up, it's just assumed you're guilty and you pay the fine, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you don't show up to defend yourself, well, no, obviously. Yeah, it's. I'm kind of speechless. I mean, I don't know what else really to be able to say. If that's the case, then we definitely want to help him any way we can. He shined a light on me, so I walked up him, and he asked me why I walk up on him. Well, he shouldn't shine a spotlight. What? What? He shouldn't shine a spotlight on you if you're in the dark walking around, and he's paid to literally protect persons and property?
I think he's trying to say that he walked up because he shined the light on him, so he walked up toward the light, and I think maybe that's where the communication is breaking off there. However, regardless of that, there doesn't need to be a conflict in the dialogue between you and the officer. He shined a light at you. You walked up to it. He said, "Why are you walking up to me?" You can say, "I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to scare you. You shined a light at me. I thought you wanted me for something." It's that simple, man. How you handle that interaction is going to determine how you are treated. You will get what you give. I promise you.
Exactly. So I'm kind of curious. Evan has been one of my subordinates since he literally came out of the academy, and I kind of watched him kind of grow as a policeman. I kind of took him under my wing as a young patrolman, and since then he's become a senior patrolman, and then he's tested and become a sergeant, and now he is my direct subordinate for my shift. He usually handles the men on the shift, and then he reports back to me for stuff. So I have a lot of confidence in him, and sure, he's going to make mistakes. He's a human being. I make mistakes as well, but I'm curious what your take is on all this, Evan. Is there anything that you see that he's saying that do you even understand what's going on here? Why there's animosity, or what, am I missing something?
The only thing I can think of is he's upset he got a ticket. That's the only thing I can think of, but that's his issue. That's not our fault.
Right.
Each officer has his own discretion. He decided at that point in time to write him a citation, and so he did because it's within his power. within his duty, he can do so, and he did, and it is what it is. He was found guilty, and that's the end of it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What I want everybody to hear when I address my men, what is my overall demeanor when I tell you guys, what are we out here for?
What
When
again.
we start shifts, or when we talk about, when I give all the rookies and you guys the speech, what is it that I say? Can you tell me what our job is?
To maintain and preserve public peace, but we're not paid to be bullies. That's not what we do. We're just a bunch of normal people. You know what I mean? Like, there's some of them obviously that are bad apples, and it is what it is. You have that in every profession. Of course, with authority, people being an authority, they're going to get a bad rap for it if there is a bad apple, and I get that. But I want you
to see if you could remember how to finish that. To maintain and preserve public peace while upholding what?
The Constitution of the United States.
Absolutely. So what we do is we protect what? We protect freedoms and liberty by upholding the law. We use the law in order to guarantee freedom, because that's just it. Is how free can you really be if somebody is committing a crime against you? So that's how we do it.
Are you trying to tell me right now that you two pigs are actually out there on the clock trying to honor your oath?
That's the idea.
Imagine that, guys. You want to see some cops that are actually trying their very best to honor their oath? I introduce you to two of them.
Our job is to maintain and preserve public peace while upholding and defending the Constitution of the United States and the state of Ohio, to preserve and protect liberty. That's what we do, and we will use the state law in which we have been governed and given power to enforce in order to guarantee those freedoms and rights of the people that potentially could be victims. That's what we are for. That's what my men are schooled to know every single day, and every single time I get a new rookie on my shift, that's what I tell him. We're not out here to do anything other than that. If we enforce law, then that's that. It's within our duty to be able to do so. But it doesn't mean that we choose to use it to be bullies, and I won't allow my men to be so. And if I find out otherwise, I can promise you I will deal with them much more severely than you guys will. That's not what we do.
I'm sorry, I wanted to address this comment. He says, yeah, but I recorded them, and then he got me. That's kind of bullcrap, Well, that's because you're assuming that it has to be retaliation. The question is, were you committing a traffic infraction? I would say that answer was yes. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they retaliated. You were doing something that falls against the law, and that's just how it works, man. That's how it works. If you're going to be out chasing the cops around with a camera, my best advice to you is know the law, first of all, and follow it, because you think if I was out there breaking laws, they wouldn't ticket my ass. I promise you they would. Ask them. Wouldn't you guys?
Absolutely.
See?
Let's see here. Blankenship just sat out there and said he'd warned me not to ride on the road, but he just said during that video, he literally reminds you again that he did. I don't know, man. I think you're looking for the wrong thing, buddy. I really do. I don't have any reason to feel either way about you, because I've never dealt with you ever. And the way I understand is all the encounters that you're kind of complaining about are encounters in which you kind of created by going to them and creating the encounter. That's just what I'm observing.
He's more than welcome to ride with me. I don't care one bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think you're looking at things completely wrong, buddy. I really do. I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
I'm not as proactive and as a go-getter as I used to be, and you'll probably get a little bit bored because I just drive around listening to music, waiting for my calls to come in. You're more than welcome to join and listen to some good music.
Well, I won't say good music. I've heard your taste in music. I'm just going to say that.
May I say something to Unclean Hands?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. A long time ago, He had made a video about me. I don't know, he called me Chili's lapdog or something like that. And that introduced me to the entire community of people that hated auditors. I didn't even know they existed until I seen this video that was made about me. So I wanted to thank you, sir, for introducing me not only to you, but an entire community of people that now call me something completely different than his lapdog. So thank you for that, sir.
Good deal, man. I'll be honest, man. I'm an Unclean Hands fan. I love his channel. If you haven't checked it out, if you're in the chat there and you want to see some good content, he's a straightforward type dude, and he just puts it out there. What's up, and that's that. And I think you'll enjoy it. So, I want you guys to understand this. I like doing this. I like kind of doing these reactions and stuff, and this one's a little bit different, just because I kind of wanted to see. I kind of wanted to maybe point a little bit of stuff out to him that maybe he hadn't really thought about, and I'm hoping that I did. I'm hoping that he realizes that we're not his enemy. My guys are not his enemy. We don't want to be, and quite frankly, he's not on anybody's radar. I mean, he doesn't really affect us. So it's kind of like, do what you want to do. I mean, but you can't really expect us to be, I don't know what you expect us to do. I mean, literally, if you broke the law on a traffic violation, you got a ticket, that's kind of on you. I don't know.
Surprised if you would just chill out and come up and talk to us like men, like just a normal person.
Maybe.
Surprised how far of a conversation we could have.
Right. Maybe we should ask him what he thinks your duties are. Maybe there's just a failure to communicate. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. I'm always up for the misunderstandings, because that's what happened with me. I misunderstood a lot in the beginning and found out as I went along. So I guess my question to him is, what do you think their duties are, as Ironton Police?
I think that's fair. I absolutely think that that if there's somebody out there that's got suggestions of what we can and would do, then I would be happy to hear them. Sometimes it's not reasonable. Sometimes you're going to ask us to do something that we just can't do, because without experiencing it, without living on this side of it, we can't answer. We can't be able to show you, what way things happen. So please understand that. But if you have recommendations, I'm all about hearing them. I have to say, man, that that I from what I've witnessed and what little bit I've actually seen your stuff. I mean, I'm not a subscriber to your channel or anything, so I've not really paid a whole lot of attention to it. I know my guys probably haven't paid a lot of attention to it, other than what's kind of people talk about or whatever. But what I've seen, I really don't think you have that really don't have a valid complaint. If you want to ask a question, please do, buddy. Please do. If you want to ask a question, I don't have a problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Terry, if you want to put the link in there, if he wants to come up on stream with us, he can. And if he's got some genuine complaints.
Okay, give me just a second and I'll throw it out.
Guys, this is just for Ben on Third, so I'm not going to bring anybody else up. But if he wants to come up and talk, he's more than welcome to.
There you go, Ben. If you'll just hit that link right there, that'll bring you right to the backstage there, sir.
And like I said, if he's got a question, if I can answer it, I'll try. I don't know. Sometimes I try. Sometimes I probably mess up too, if I truth be told. But let's see here. We need to check in with the chat a little more, Terry. We got anything going on? I'm trying to follow as best I can.
Well, I haven't tried to interrupt with anything. It's just everybody talking back and forth. Everybody's asking everybody else questions. We have Penny Press is talking about her son. Where did I see that a second ago? That was important. Said only after they'd pulled, highlighted there. Said only after they pulled my stepson over 9 times, and they let him go after they pulled him over to pick on him because they know him. And I don't know who they specifically is. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I saw it go by. E.B. Joe says I'm ignoring her, and I do the very best I can, though it is difficult. She can definitely get your attention.
I'm not buying that.
Hello to everybody that we haven't had the opportunity to speak to individually. Hello, everybody. So, just, sorry, we were wanting to cover that video.
Tony Forrest,
so I hadn't kept up with the chat.
Tony Forrest witnessed 9 traffic stops. That seems odd. I don't know. I don't even know who that is, so I can't answer. I don't
She
even
said he got a hold of him on the parking lot when he saw it. Again, I don't know who them is. I know.
I don't know either. Sorry,
course.
I can't answer because I don't know. I don't know who any of these people are. So, I've never pulled anybody over 9 times in my career. Never pulled the same car over 9 times. I don't know.
Well, I guess from what she's saying, they did it specifically because they know him, and I think she said he had a learning disability or something there earlier, but I guess they know him, so they just like to pull him over just to bully him and pick on him. If I understand what she's saying correctly, I think that's what she's saying, that they pulled him over specifically because they knew him and they wanted to bully him and fuck with him. I guess I think that's what she's saying. If that's true, Penny, say yes or no.
To be honest with you, I don't believe that anybody's pulled anybody over 9 times because I don't remember Tony Forrest ever doing much of anything as far as supervising anybody, tell anybody not to do that. To be honest, just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I may be wrong. I don't know who it is, so it's hard for me to answer. But let's see. Dark Watch must be getting harsh over there. I didn't see what it was, but somebody said, ouch. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe.
Just want to let that one roll.
I find it very hard to believe that he would do anything like that, or that anybody else would do. Dickbag Patrol and Dark Watch saying anything to offend anybody? Come on, guys.
Oh, Alan's asking me if I still play the guitar. I was never really a guitarist. Leaducator's the one who plays the guitar. So
I struggle. Let's see. Yeah, I play guitar though. Lisa's right. I play guitar.
I can make noise with a guitar. I can do that, but I'm not a guitarist.
Right. Well, I'm kind of like that too. It's like, oh, you're a musician. No, I play guitar. I don't know anything about musicians. Let me see.
I can hum pretty good.
They pulled him over and bullied him, and I had to go down there and talk to Tony about it. And he pulled up when they were bullying him and saw. I really don't know what you're talking about, and who is they? I don't know who you mean. I don't know.
Well, apparently, from what she's saying, it was rectified by that right there. I assume that must have brought it to an end. So there you go. It was handled, I suppose.
I guess.
Again,
I don't know
who they are.
I've never known of any officer pulling the same car over 9 times, but that's just, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. Oh, okay. You said IPD officers, AKA they, but I don't know who IPD officers are. I mean, can you give me names? I'm just curious. Cause I'm not familiar. I really don't know what you mean.
We know you mean IPD officers. We were just wondering if you knew which ones specifically was our question. Because you can't take the actions of one officer and translate it to the entire department. You can, but it won't help any. Just saying.
I'm assuming. Are you coming up? Ben on third. You're more than welcome to. Like I said, that I'd be more than happy to. You said you want to ask a question. I'd be more than happy to hear you out. I'm sure we can try to come to some kind of conclusion on it. I don't know. I'll do my best.
Hebe Joe said she's trying to behave. I bet that's a job in itself right there.
Let's see here. Dickbag Patrol says he would love to visit Ironton one day. I would love for you to come in, dude. Right? I would love for you to come in.
It is the city of opportunity.
Oh, absolutely, buddy.
LOL.
Apparently, the Blankenship boys were 2 of them, according to Penny. She said the younger ones that were at his age and went to school with him. So I guess that's about the Blankenship's age, I'm assuming. I don't know how old everybody is, so there you go.
So once again, I don't know. I mean, if it's, I don't remember them ever working for Tony under his shift, but it's possible. I don't know. Let's see. I'm assuming Ben On's not coming up, so he's had ample time to be able to follow the link. But really, that's kind of where I stand on this, guys. Is I just wanted to kind of clear the air there a little bit, and I kind of wanted to give him the opportunity to clear the air. But I really don't know what else, to say. If there's a problem, like I said, I want to repeat, this was just kind of an oddity today for me actually doing this stream. Because I don't like taking, any kind of complaints or anything over YouTube. I just kind of want to show that video of that encounter just as a neutral thing to show some officers and how they handle it. Because quite frankly, I thought those guys done a pretty good job. They even invited him over after the stop was completed in order to be able to talk to him. And
Who is
I
Penny
didn't.
Press? Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
What's
Tony
that?
doesn't work for us. He doesn't work for us. So I have no reason to ask him about anything. But if that's the case, then I'm sure you could have probably taken it a lot higher than Tony, because Tony was just a patrol sergeant. He didn't really have a whole lot of rank or anything. But if there's something that anybody can do for you, then I think that would be fine, and we'd be happy to help. He says been on third. I think been on third might have finally made it home. Well, he's been on third, so I mean, maybe he's.
Oh, that explains everything. She's Beth Riss for him.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Like I said, if you got a complaint and you want to come in and talk to the chief or myself and put something in writing, if it's been that long ago, I mean, I guess it's kind of already rectified. That's right. Dick Back Patrol says if you visit Ironton, you're almost guaranteed not to see Chili. Boy, that's for sure.
Oh, he's scared of everything. He's scared of me, scared of a trespassing warrant, and he's definitely scared of Leaducator.
Maybe so. Let's see. Let's pick and gripe. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that it seems kind of like he's not really wanting. Sometimes what I've noticed is, and I've said this too, if you bring chaos or you bring trouble to an equation and you don't bring in a potential solution to it, then you're not really helping anything. Sometimes people just want chaos and they want trouble and they want to argue and bitch and gripe, and that doesn't really help anything. I really just don't see what the point is. If you don't at least offer a solution or offer the opportunity for somebody to give a solution and you just want to add trouble, then it's obviously what you're doing. That's just my experience. But if you want a solution, offer it, or at least offer the opportunity for one. Otherwise, you're just griping.
I'd like to say, it says, I don't doubt it a bit. That's sometimes the problem with certain people in and around Ironton and vicinity is they hear a story and they don't doubt it a bit. The problem is 99% of what you hear is not true, and you should know that above all, Penny Press. A lot of the details and things that have come out has not exactly been 100% true, just saying. Now, I'm not talking about Ben in particular because I don't know, but I am willing to say that I don't know. I'm not willing to believe one side or the other. That's the difference.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm just trying to keep everything transparent as best we can. Like I said, I'm not completely able to do so from my official capacity on YouTube because that's not the proper way to do things, or I would be cheating my men and my profession by doing so. But this was just kind of a reaction type video. That's just how I kind of wanted to do this to show what I really thought was not really a logical gripe. Just how I feel.
Did they teach you how to bully people in the academy? I'm just curious. The difference between you and me is you believe shit you can't prove to be true. That's not a very good thing to do, and I don't think the academy taught you that. I'm not sure what you meant by that comment, but me not going to the academy doesn't have anything to do with being sensible and being
Actually,
neutral.
they taught us how to deal with people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'd like to point out, if that big of an issue, you'd remember who the officers were.
Well, I don't think we're saying that you can't prove it, Penny Press. I think what we're saying is it's 4 years ago. If you have something current, it would be great. Because like I've been at this for 2 years, and although all the stories come out, like we haven't seen any of that. So, like, everybody wants to cry and bitch and whine about everything that happened years ago. And again, I'm not trying to say it didn't, so don't misunderstand me here. I'm only saying that bringing it up now won't do a whole hell of a lot of good. Tony doesn't work there anymore. He could prove it, but that's not going to change much at this point if it already happened, right? So, the best thing to do now is to go on, and if you have current things, if you have current officers with problems, then now's the time to bring that out so we can fix those problems. It sounds like this one was already fixed by Tony, according to you. Just saying.
Okay, but you're saying you believe that somebody's bullying been on third, but we've literally just proven through discussion
Right.
and video that that's not the case. Literally.
Well, like I said, some people would rather believe in hate than actually try to understand the truth, because that won't fit the narrative, and I won't have a reason to hate you then.
Right. So, well, like I said, if you have any problems, Penny, then feel free. My door's always open. And you can come and talk to me.
No one ever said he's lying. The problem is a matter of perspective. He didn't get harassed because he got a ticket, right? He got a ticket because he did something wrong. The cops are not going out to find him to bully him. He's the one rolling up on them with a camera. That's the difference here. I don't know if you realize that, but that is the difference here. You went to the academy. You should know these things.
I'll be the first to call him a liar. That's just straight up.
Well, I'll leave that to you. You have inside knowledge that I don't have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But either way, whether he's lying or telling the truth, I know that the truth can be skewed by perspective, right? It's kind of like when someone says, how hard do I have to throw this egg against the concrete to break it? My answer is going to be, I don't care how hard you throw that egg, that concrete will not break. You see how quickly perception changes everything. Perspective changes it all. And I think that's what we have here, is a bit of a perspective problem.
What are you saying? What do you know?
Shit. Apparently the academy didn't help you a whole hell of a lot then, did it?
What things? I guess I'm missing it. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know what you mean.
You should be better at investigating and asking neutral questions instead of taking a side by going to the academy than I could ever be, according to your own statement. But apparently that's not true, is it?
I guess I'm missing something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just confused.
I'm sure Beth can help you out.
Oh.
She definitely went to the academy and served. I believe she was the first sergeant, was she not? Maybe she can help you out with police procedure.
Okay. Yeah.
Drunk enough to make him misremember that night.
She's asking, was Ben on third so drunk that maybe he just didn't remember that night?
Nah, he wasn't nowhere near blackout.
Yeah, but he had a red Solo cup full
of alcohol. Yep.
Let's see here. I don't know. I don't know anything about what Penny's talking about. So Penny, like I said, from my standpoint, if you have anything I can help you with, I'll try. Other than that, I don't know.
Well, there's no need to be angry with us either way. We're just on here having a conversation, so there's no reason to have your butt up in the air at us. We haven't done anything to you. Just saying. We can have a conversation, but it seems like you're being rather angry and wanting to be argumentative. It's not necessary, though. It's not necessary.
There you go, Terry. That one's for you, I guess.
Curious. I don't know if I can put it on here, or can I PM? I'm not sure. Yes, private message, I guess that is. Yeah, you can send me whatever you want, and I'll run it by the Leaducator if you want to text it to me or something.
Let's see.
I don't purport to know what he wants on his channel and what he don't, but I will run it by him.
It doesn't bother me. It's just, like I said, if it's certain things I can't respond, I can't respond. But I don't try to hide it. I'll tell you, I can't talk about that. Okay, Penny Press says she's not angry. So, okay, well maybe we're just kind of.
Then we're good. We're good then. I wasn't trying to put words in your mouth. I said it seemed as if you were. That's all.
Does Ironton have community meetings and such? Could Penny attend one of these and raise concerns? There's obviously there's city council. That may be time to voice your opinion. You know,
And
I
they
used
also broadcast that on YouTube, so you can watch every one of them live. Just saying. The council meetings. So even if you didn't want to go, you can watch them from home at YouTube.
well, and I want to say too, years ago we used to do Ironton Citizens Watch. I started a Facebook group years and years ago in order to be able to help share information for, you know, observing criminal activity and such. And I used to go around the city and host meetings for the department and actually talk to people about crime prevention methods and so on and so forth. And we kind of done that type of thing. But other than that, there's really not anything other than council that I know of. You know, once again, I'm not completely privy. There's a possibility I'm missing something, but that's kind of where I'm at.
I think we obviously need to explain to some people that he was not cop watching when he was taken home for drinking and being in public. That was a completely separate incident, by the way. Good old boy, just so you know.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. I don't think.
Oh.
Go ahead.
What she asked me is, if I make peanut butter bars for the police, can I take it to them? Would they accept them?
Please.
She wanted to bake y'all some of her famous peanut butter bars. I love them. She's made them for us a couple different times.
Absolutely. We would be honored. Thank you very much. That's a very nice gesture.
I'll take my
There you
own
go.
pan.
Now you know.
And no, you're not making your own pan for Evan. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of been my thing. I don't really. Here's my thing: is I don't really think that there's any reason to hide anything that we don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things for doing investigation we can't talk about. You know, there's some times where, you know, there might be some sensitive subject matter, something that may affect somebody else's, you know, personal space, so to speak, and we try to honor that. But overall, man, I don't care. I'll talk about whatever, and, you know, we're open to whatever. You know, I think that's kind of been the motto. I don't know why it's perceived otherwise. I don't get it. Mike. Okay, Mike. No, duly noted, buddy.
I have a question from an officer's perspective, okay, or to get an answer from your perspective. I mean, from a citizen and an auditor standpoint, I have people that complain if you're out sitting and watching traffic, you're doing nothing or you're wasting time. If you're pulling people over, you're being an asshole and policing for profit. If you're staying at home, I always call it staying at home. If you're all cooped up in the pig pen, then you're just lazy and we're paying you for nothing. And I'm just wondering exactly what you know, when is it that you guys would expect us not to bitch? In my personal opinion, I would be willing to pay you all to stay at home all night. That way, when I have a problem, I know exactly where the hell you're at. I would feel much better.
That's kind of been something I've dealt with for years. It's like, if you're stopping cars, you're being a nuisance and you're being a tyrant. If you're not stopping cars, you're not doing your job. If you're sitting at the station, you're not doing your job. But if you're out and about, you're aggravating people. So it's kind of one of those lose-lose situations. So what I kind of tell my guys to do is kind of be out, be seen, you know, if needed, whatever, we're looking for things or whatever, or be in a situation or be in a place where you kind of centralize yourself to respond. And, you know, and there are times, you know, we may be in the station for something. We do a lot of online training and stuff like that. But, you know, or there might be reports being done, or, I mean, there's always something going on. So, but, you know, that's kind of where
you did know that you were accused of raping children in there at times, right? That is an actual concern and complaint by certain citizens.
Do what now?
Yeah, that you guys were raping young girls in there. That was a complaint made by citizens of Ironton, a couple citizens. I won't name them, but, you know, it's all on my channel. I just, you know, I even rolled in one night when I actually thought it was you, McKnight. I thought for sure it was you when I first rolled up. The glare on the windshield, I couldn't tell. And as soon as I opened my mouth and started asking, "Are the doors locked?" It's not you. But I'd already started speaking. I'm like, "Y'all ain't raping no little girls in there, are you?" And the look on this guy's face was priceless. Poor feller. So, you know, to get hit. Yeah, it you know. But so yeah, that complaint has been made, and, you know, and I asked point blank. Of course, he said, "No, we're not doing that." But there you go.
Well, I don't know where that came from. That's troubling. I guess I don't even know how to respond to that, Terry.
Well, I didn't figure you did. Neither did he at first. He's just shaking his head and saying, no, that's not what we're doing. You know, he didn't know where I was coming from. If it had been McKnight, you know. I had thought that maybe they had heard the comments and would find it funny, but it turned out it wasn't that way, and the poor guy probably has PTSD now from Ironton Auditor. You know, me rolling up a stranger asking him questions like that. Poor fella, that was our first meeting.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead, and if anybody's got any direct questions for any of us before we wrap it up, I just kind of wanted to break down that video and you know, give Ben on his moment to be able to kind of get his message out, and we promoted his video a little bit. And hopefully he'll have the opportunity to grow his channel a little bit, and maybe he'll start seeing things from a different perspective, we hope. You know, like I said, I don't think necessarily he's a bad kid. I just think that he's kind of looking at things to a bad light, in my opinion. That's just me. I mean, I may be wrong, but I don't think my guys are guilty of the things he's saying. That's just my opinion again, but I think everybody knows at this point that that's the case.
Miss Avenged Sevenfold would like to know, how do you like your boots?
I think they're wonderful. And I've got them put up because I don't want to start on a new ones until I wear these ones out. So, but definitely greatly appreciated. Yes. And John, you're right. I'm sorry. Let me get that up here. Hang on. Let me go ahead and, that's right. John's right. You know, we traditionally, we like talking about that on Tuesdays, you know, Hug a Troll Tuesday, which is Hug a Troll, Love a Troll, Tell a Troller special. You know, that's always a thing for us. What's a law you don't agree with? Oh, you asking me? There's a lot of laws I don't agree with. I don't like them. A lot of laws I don't like. I'm going to tell you this, and this is just my opinion, and please, I want everybody to understand that I'm saying this from my own official personal capacity, not my professional capacity. I don't personally like any laws that affect me and myself and no others. For instance, I don't personally like seatbelt laws because I don't think that that's something that, do I think they work? Absolutely. But I don't think I need a law to tell me that I have to wear one. And there's a lot of things, and that's just an example. You know, I would prefer that everybody wear them. They do work, but I don't agree with it necessarily. There's a lot of little petty laws, in my opinion, that I don't agree with. I don't agree with some of the domestic laws, to be honest with you. Some of the criminal laws that I've seen, and the way they're written, it's almost impossible for us to really do the right thing. You know, because we have to arrest somebody a lot of times on domestic if there's any kind of proof of that.
You know, I see something going through the chat there. They're talking about bullying or feeling bullied. I want to explain to everybody out there that this whole cyber bully idea is like real just horseshit. Because like there's a big red X up there at the top of your right-hand top of your screen, or you turn your phone off. Anytime you feel bullied on the internet, all you have to do is turn it off and never turn it back on. And guess what? There is no such damn thing. That's how simple that is. So I think that the word is being thrown around really loosely in the chat. I think it's ridiculous, and I don't like how people use it. They don't like being argued with, so they feel like they're bullied. And I just want to say, if you feel bullied, turn it off and go away, and you won't feel that way.
John, in Ohio, we do not have to do that. In Ohio, we have, we can arrest for probable cause for violent crimes and felonies, and, you know, certain crimes based on totality of circumstance that we can arrest for probable cause. And we have the power of jail commitment, which means we take them directly to jail and we sign them into jail, and then they will see a municipal judge. I don't have to ask anybody's opinion on anything before I make an arrest. If I see something that I feel like I have to arrest somebody on, I will. It's just a little bit different. Ohio is a little bit different than some other states. Excuse me. I personally believe when it comes to laws, go back to what I was saying, is I believe that if it doesn't affect anybody else, that it shouldn't necessarily. Now, I can't say that exclusively. If it's something that's just about me and I'm not affecting anybody, I don't think the government needs to be sticking their nose in it. That's just my opinion. And I personally don't enforce those laws. So, you know, there's certain things, like I said, the domestic laws, I have to, because I'm bound by law to do so.
I happen to know an officer in Ironton that has told me that he's never wrote a speeding ticket and probably wouldn't because he's guilty of speeding a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just like you won't write a seatbelt ticket, you don't like to wear them, right? You know,
Right.
so that, I'm just saying, you know, there are a lot of that's officer discretion. That's true officer discretion. It always falls within that.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, and I'm sure Evan's got his pet peeves too about certain stuff and the way we do things or whatever that we not necessarily like. I will say this. I think we are blessed right now with a tremendous chief, that we did not have that able to say that in the past. We certainly have upgraded tremendously from the previous chief. So we've got a good chief now. And we're in a good position now. I think we have a good administration overall. I think we got some good officers, some young guys, but we do. And I think that we've got a good overall city government. You know, I know there's some people that don't necessarily, you know, agree with Sam or what he does as far as the mayor and stuff, but I personally think that Sam comes in and does what he thinks best. I really do believe he tries.
I have given him a really bad rap at one time. That was because of what happened in the court system, and he let it walk. And I think he's kind of a sniveling turd for that. However, that does not necessarily affect his job as mayor of Ironton. I can't speak to that, but it seems as if Ironton likes him because they re-elected him. That means the citizens have spoken, and therefore I have no more to say about Sam Cramblett as far as his job of mayor is concerned. He must be doing right by the citizens of Ironton because they want him there. And I think the election proved it.
I agree. And I think, honestly, I really do believe that he comes in with a good, I think he genuinely shows up to work each day to try to do the best he can for the city of Ironton. I really believe that. I have no reason to say that. And I really believe the same thing about the police department and the guys that work there and the chief of police. I really believe that. Now, do I agree with everything they do? No, I don't agree with everything the mayor does, but it doesn't mean that he's probably privy to stuff that I don't know. Obviously, he knows more about budgeting and stuff that I don't know about. So I have to give him props. I think he tries his best. I think he does a pretty good job. He's a younger guy, and he's of course he's made mistakes. He's human. You know what I mean? He's done some stupid stuff just like I have and everybody else. But does that make him a bad mayor? No. Let's see. What's Dickbag Patrol here say? Chad, did you know that if a couple from Ohio moves to California and gets a divorce, they're still legally?
It's only if they move up here from West Virginia, though.
Okay, well, just for that, Dickbag Patrol, I want you to stand in the corner for 5 minutes. It's obvious that you need to be in timeout. So Dickbag Patrol's in timeout. He's going to be in the corner for 5 minutes until he learns his lesson.
Hey, and the next step's taking you out in the hall and using the paddle, sir. I just want to tell you what strike 2 was. So you know.
He's been warned. He's been warned now.
Right.
Let's see here. See what else we got going on over in the chat. If anybody's got any questions
about some silly laws, you know, you can't throw a snake at anybody.
Oh my gosh!
As you said, you have to notify the cops before you roller skate. You know, these are probably some of the old laws that are still on the books that haven't been enforced in so long they don't.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh, cool. Mike, it's kind of interesting. He invented West Virginia. His family did.
There you go. A few of the cities are named after his relatives. There you go. You know, it's like what 200 and some thousand people and like 5 last names or something.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm hard on West Virginia. It'll happen.
Yeah. Terry's getting ready to be in the corner with you. Dickbag Patrol and Terry's going to be standing in the corner, and they're not going to be allowed to partake in recess.
Did you know, Dickbag Patrol, that they don't drink Kool-Aid in West Virginia? They've never figured out how to get 2 quarts of water and a cup of sugar into that package, sir.
Okay, that's it.
I'm getting paddled now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see. Has anybody else got anything? Has anybody got any questions for anybody on the panel directly? And if not, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, I've had fun here, and I hope I didn't offend anybody, and I hope I didn't offend Ben on Third. That was not my intent. I just wanted to kind of show his video and let him have the platform a little bit to kind of, you know, to say his piece. I really think he's kind of looked at things the wrong way, in my opinion. And I hope maybe he sees things a little different, hopefully now. Terry offended me. I know. That's what he does. Let's see. Against the law not to. Alan said it's against the law not to slap Chili if you see him.
Well, I promise you, if he comes here, even though it is against the law, I'll serve my night in jail and pay my fine for misdemeanor assault, because I plan on slapping him repeatedly. That's my plan.
And I will put you some commissary money on your books, Terry.
It'd be nice to have that instant coffee,
You say, oh, there's somebody's talking about your. That's to you, Evan.
Babyface McKnight.
I'm 27 years old.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I agree, John. I think he is. I think he's probably a good kid. I think he may be a little misled. If the cop is off duty, they're still a cop, or is it that? Well, here's the thing. We are pretty much bound by law to act in the commission of a felony just about anywhere. So even in another state, we're supposed to act in commission of a felony. So even when I'm in West Virginia and stuff, I usually carry a firearm everywhere I go. But in the commission of a felony, I'm kind of bound to act. But I can arrest somebody off duty in Ohio, just like Evan. I have arrested people off duty before, for acting stupid, and me just kind of be in there and be like, oh, well, now you've acted stupid, so you're going to jail. So, but yeah,
that's what I offend them all. But good old boy isn't special, and that's usually how it works. If you're easily offended, I'm definitely going to offend you. It's what happens. So now be careful around me.
Well, first of all, Dickbag Patrol says when it comes to common sense, California is well. I want to tell you this. First of all, we don't talk about California. We only talk about America. Okay. We don't talk about anybody out of the United States. Okay.
Those communist influenced states we don't talk about. Huh?
Yeah, that's right. Any communist states we don't talk about. If they're not going to be pro 2A, I'm probably not going to be pro them. Just in my experience. But,
what kind of police powers would you have off duty? Like, I assume that you could, instate yourself on the clock at any time if there was a law being broken, you had to do something about it. Is that not correct?
I can, we can do anything. I mean, as far as there's nothing that says in the city of Ironton, especially. I mean, oh God. All right, guys. Well, that's a show. We got to go real fast before Artie has to come in here and talk.
Sorry, I want midnights.
But yes, that's kind of the gist of it. Is we can arrest anybody we have to for any crime in our commission, or just like we could when we're in uniform. The only difference is, obviously we try not to insert ourselves in situations like that because we don't want to do that. We get plenty of it while we're at work. We don't want any more. And that's another thing too, is we don't really get into that blue line crap stuff with, do I respect other police officers? Yes. Do I, love my brothers in blue, so to speak? Absolutely. But do I get into that living the job and all that, nonsense? No, I don't. It's a job. I get paid. I go home. I live my life. My job is to pay the bills for me and my wife and my kids and my family. That's all. I don't care about anything else.
I would like to point something out, though. I've heard a lot of auditors and people in the auditing community ask, when are the good cops going to stand up and take care of the bad cops? And I would like to state that it's happened twice in Ironton history that I know for sure of. So they do police their own. They have arrested their own. They have fired their own. All of that stuff has taken place in Ironton's history. So if you're looking for a stand-up police unit that will police themselves, I think I can prove it with their own history. Just saying.
Well, we appreciate that, but we're still looking for good cops because we've never met any. We're really bad. We're just not any good at it. It's not that we have bad intentions. We just really we found that book that's How to Be a Policeman for Dummies.
Academy for the Stupid.
And that's kind of what we do. But that's kind of how we look at things. So. But listen, guys, let's wrap it up. Before we go, I want to give everybody on the panel an opportunity. We'll start with you, Evan. Do you have a last word for anybody or the chat or anything that you want to put out there before we go? Go ahead and say it.
Just happy to be here. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. And hopefully in the future we're gonna get Evan more involved and stuff. He's got a good perspective to be able to. I mean, you guys seen his professional take on chili. I mean, that right there is pure. That's a thorough professional breakdown. You can't duplicate that. That's obvious. Years of experience and a well thought out response. So. So let's go to Terry. Terry, you got any final words for the chat or anybody else?
The same as always. You guys know how I feel out there. I love each and every one of you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for taking the ride, guys. And I'll catch you lovely people on the next run. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
And I'll say, like I always do, we appreciate you guys hanging out. It's a lot of fun. If I got anything wrong, I apologize. If I done anything to offend anybody, I apologize. That's not my intent. I just kind of want to get on here and hang out with people. And today was a little bit different. So, but appreciate all your support. Continue to like and subscribe, share the channel. Let's grow this thing. The more people we got to hang out, the more interesting the group chats go. So, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We're going to do some more content. We're keeping it going. If you haven't checked out the channels, in the chat with Dick Bag Patrol and Uncle Artie and Flat Derp and others, there's been several in here that I know are real active in making content. Please do so. You're not going to be sorry. And if you're interested in, Ben on Third, if you want to check his channel out, by all means, check him out, like and subscribe. He's got a little bit different spin, than obviously I do. He doesn't like us too well, and that's okay. That's everybody's prerogative. That's the beauty of freedom and liberty. We'll acknowledge that. So, but we once again, we want to see you guys back every time. Stay tuned for more content, and I promise you, if you will stay focused and you will stay blessed and try to do something good for somebody else, it'll never return to you void. Do something positive, love on somebody, speak a kind word, do whatever you got to do. Stay focused, stay blessed, and if you train like you fight like you train. See you guys.